How do I compare properties of two functions? Specifically, we're going to look at linear and a quadratic function here, but you could compare them with exponential too, and in two different forms. One's going to be a graph, one's going to be a table. And here we have function A and function B. So here we have function A as a quadratic function. It opens up and it has an x-intercept of -2 and 0. The y-intercept is the origin. Its vertex is going to be -1, -1 down here. Your axis of symmetry would be x equals -1. So things like that, right? B is a linear function. We know this because x is increasing by 1. And as it increases by 1, y is decreasing by 5, -5, which makes our slope -5 over 1. So our slope is actually going to be -5. And we can see right here, it actually even gives us the y-intercept. When x is 0, y is 45. We can literally write the equation y equals -5x plus 45. And that would be this function. We could also use translations to write this one by saying, okay, so it scales over. We don't have enough information necessarily to tell whether or not to tell everything. I think we probably could, but that's not the purpose of this video. We'll do that another time. All right, so here's some more information looking at some of the features. A decreases, so function A decreases from -infinity to -1. And that's inclusive of -1, which is your vertex. So it's decreasing from -infinity all the way there to the left, all the way until it hits 1. And then at -1, it stops decreasing and it starts increasing. B is a decreasing linear function. We know that simply because the y value, the slope here is negative. So you have a negative slope, you're decreasing. The domain of A is all real numbers. So domain is your x values. So that's going to be from -infinity to +infinity. The range of A, however, would be from -1 inclusive. The range would be -1 to +infinity. So you would write the range like this, inclusive -1 to +infinity. And you always just use a parenthesis for +infinity. That's not included. So that would be your range of A. The rate of change for B is -5, and that's just the slope that we had calculated here. So these are just a few examples of different types of features you want to remind yourself of. Your slopes, your rates of change, domains, range, increasing, decreasing, things like that to be aware of when comparing properties of two functions.